Welcome, everyone. Happy Friday. And
Hi.
we're in the kitchen again today, this Friday. And last week we made a really great lasagna and we had a marinara sauce. And if you had leftovers, today we have something you can use for your leftovers. So we're not going to make the marinara sauce. You can see last week's video when I'll give you the recipe for the marinara sauce. But we are going to make some lentil balls. I hate to call them meatballs because they don't have any meat per se in it. Depends on how you define meat. So this is what we're making today. I'm going to use my food processor to do that, but you don't need to. You can actually just use a bowl and stir everything up in a bowl. All right, so let's get going with our meatball. So I'm just going to move you guys over. This is my fancy dancy here. All right. We have everything here. So we're going to make our meatballs. This is really easy. Let me bring all my stuff over here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take some flax seeds. So I have 2 tablespoons of flaxseed here. This is going to bind them together, help to keep them to stay together. So I'm making a flax seed or a flax egg out of this. And I'm going to add around 4 tablespoons of water. So for every tablespoon of flaxseed, ground flaxseed, that is, you should add 2 to 2.5 tablespoons of water. So it's a kind of 1 to 2 ratio. And I just put that in there and I'm going to let it sit. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes for the water to absorb into the flaxseed. Now, if you buy your flaxseed, actually the full whole seeds, we cannot digest them. So if you eat them whole, they're just going to go right through you. So we need to grind them up so that we can use them and they're available to us. And flaxseed is amazing fiber for our system. And it's also very good source of omega-3 fatty acid. And because it has that fat in it, it will go rancid fairly quickly once you grind it up. So if you can buy ground flaxseed in the store, or you can buy the whole ones. You can, now, depending on how much time you have, you can get you could use a food process, not a food processor. You could use a food processor, but your Vitamix or your high-speed blender to put the seeds in and grind them up. But if you're just doing a little bit, what really works well is getting a coffee grinder. So if you have a coffee grinder that you buy just specifically for grinding up flax seeds, you just put your 2 tablespoons or whatever in and grind them up. And then you've got them and you don't have to be concerned about the rancidity. If you buy them ground up, which is the alternative, make sure you store them in the freezer so that they don't spoil, because they will go rancid quickly. So I've got that. The other thing I did is I chopped up a big clove of garlic, or if you have 2 small cloves, and I want to let these 2 sit, because what happens in the garlic is the enzymes need time to sit and form so that you get all of those antimicrobial and anti-cancer properties from them. So we've cut up our our garlic as well. And we want to let that sit for 10 to 15 minutes before we put it with other foods, before we combine it. And ahead of time, I cooked up some green lentils. Now you could buy them in the can and then just rinse them. That's fine too. No worries about that. Lentils are actually very easy to cook. I just did 1 cup of lentils with 3 cups of water, brought it to a boil and let it simmer without putting a lid on it for about 15 to 20 minutes until the lentils are soft. And then I drained them out. It's very easy. So lentils aren't like some of the other beans and beans that you get. You have to soak them for a long time and then cook them for a long time. Lentils cook very quickly. But like I said, if you're low on time, you don't have the time, you can always buy them as well. And I did 1 cup of green lentils, and it made pretty close to 3 cups of cooked lentils by the time I was done. So that's your choices. The other thing, if you cook your own, you can add some other spices to it. You could add a little bit of a bay leaf. You can add some garlic powder, some onion powder to get more flavors into your lentils. So I've got my food processor here. I'm just going to add my lentils to that. And basically all we're going to do is combine all our ingredients here. Got that? I have a 1/2 cup of oats. So this is rolled oats. And the kind that I recommend is the organic sprouted ones. You can buy them. I'm pretty sure you can buy them both in the US and in Canada. I get mine at Costco, and it's farmers own, and it's really good because it's sprouted, which means that it's added a little more nutrients to it. And it's just rolled oats, and they're very good. I also have 1/2 cup or so of mushrooms. So these are just white mushrooms. You could use cremini mushrooms or any other mushrooms that you would like. Now, if you're just stirring, I'm putting it in the food processor, so I didn't chop them fine. But if you're just putting everything into a bowl and stirring it up, you might want to chop that a little finer. And I've got a little bit of onion as well. So I've got some chopped onion. It's about 2 tablespoons is really what I need. We just keep chopped onion in the fridge. So I'm just going to use it all and I can replenish it. All right, that's that. And then I'm going to add my lemon juice. I have about 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. This adds a little acid and brightens it up. Anytime our thinking things don't have enough salt in them, especially if you're doing salt-free, one of the great things to do is to use lemon juice. It brightens the things up and really can make a difference in your flavors. If I forget to put that, I can tell the difference if I forget to put the lemon juice in. And I have some organic miso paste here that I'm going to add in. So this miso is fermented. So this is a great for your gut health, the fermented. This one is soybean. I'm going to put about 1 tablespoon or so in here. So this one is made from soybean. You can get it made with chickpeas, although I haven't really found it in the grocery store that way. So if you don't like soybeans, you can get that. This you buy in the refrigerator section of your grocery store. I know in mine, I shop at Superstore for this, and it comes in the organic section. So this is great for your gut health. And it's got a salty taste and an umami taste, so it gives a little more flavor to your meatballs. Then I have a bunch of spices. So I have oregano here, or you could use an Italian spice. You can add some basil to it. I have a little bit of paprika, some nutritional yeast, a little bit of garlic powder, onion powder, and what else do I have in here? I think that's it. So I'm going to add that in. So that's a little bit more flavor. And don't be afraid, don't be shy with the flavors. You want to get good flavor in that. So when you're cooking plant-based, so I'm adding my garlic now. When you're cooking plant-based, you really need your spices to get those flavor profiles. And so you probably use a little more. And I've got a little bit of Dijon mustard I can add. This one is optional. It works well without it as well. I'm going to add that in a little bit. Just like a couple of tablespoons. Got that in, and then I've got my flax oil or flaxseed egg, which now it's thickened up quite a bit. So I'm going to add that in as well. Now you can add this in after, but I'm good to just add everything in all at once. And then all you need to do is process it. Or if you're putting it in a bowl, just stir it up. Let's go. And don't put this on to process continuously. Use the pulse. You don't need that much. You just want to pulse it and mix it. You don't want it into a fine paste. So I'm going to wipe down the sides. Oh, I can smell it. Oh, it smells good. This is one of the if somebody ever invents a smell-o-meter so we can go smell over Zoom, that will be a great thing. You probably make a lot of money to do that. I wish you could smell. And you can do that to whatever thickness you want. You want it to have a little bit of coarseness in it. So I think this is good. It's pretty wet. And all I need to do is make my meatballs. They're balls, but meatballs sounds good. And so I'm going to put them on a baking tray. I'm going to use we use a lot of pizza trays, but I always put some parchment paper on it. So this parchment paper, I actually buy mine at Costco because we use a lot. You want to make sure that your parchment paper is great because it so saves on the cleanup time, especially things spill in the oven. You don't have scrubbing. But the other thing is to make sure you buy it with, what was I going to say, no wax, because some of the parchment papers do have wax on them. So make sure you're buying one that doesn't have the wax. So I'm just going to take really all I got to do now is take about 1.5 tablespoons or so and just make the meatballs. They're pretty soft, but they will firm up. And I've got my oven on 350. So I can take my meatballs there and bake them. So you want to bake them at 350 for, I would say, 30 to 45 minutes. If you want, especially if you want a nice crust on the outside. They will be softer on the inside. I'm just going to do that. Add it in. Make sure try and get them the same size. That's always a good thing to make them uniform. All right. That in. You can freeze these as well. If you're by yourself, you can just make it up and then freeze them. You can freeze your marinara sauce and take it out later. Or you could just have it for lunch the next day. That's even better. That's the way I like to do it. All right, so I've got my meatballs here. I just pop them in the oven, and about halfway through the cooking, you can turn them over. That's done. Now my hands are all dirty. Give me a second. It is real live. I've got to do my meatballs. I'm going to put these in the oven for probably about 20 minutes, and then I'll turn them over. Okay, now what do we make with our meatballs? So I have my marinara sauce, which we made last week. By the way, I made a fresh batch, but I'm going to make you could make pasta with it, but we're promoting here to eat as processed food free as much as possible. So you could take a spaghetti squash, which is what I have here, and you can turn this into kind of like a spaghetti and put your lentil balls and your marinara sauce on top. You could spiralize some zucchini or some other squash. And if you don't have a spiralizer, I think a lot of places now, the grocery stores will sell it spiralized for you if you want. Now, what you do, so I made the mistake, all you need to do is bake this in the oven, is cut it in half, take out the seeds, and then put it in the oven. But I made the mistake when I first started. of cutting it lengthwise. That makes more sense to me. It was more intuitive. But it turns out that the best way to cut it is around the middle, because then you keep the spaghetti of the spaghetti squash, it stays intact and you get longer strands, because the texture of the spaghetti squash actually runs around the width, not around the length. So that was something that I learned. And so what I did is I put a spaghetti squash, I took the core out. You could see it's still steaming. I took the core out, cut it in half, took the core out, and baked it probably about, this one, I think it was about 45 minutes. And then all you do once it's baked, it's a bit on the hot side. So I'm going to get my oven mitt out. Hopefully that will work. So I want to show you, all you need to do is take your fork and scratch it around the outside, and it will turn into like strands of spaghetti. Here we go. So you just basically dig it out with your fork. I don't know if you can see, it's coming out. It's very, this oven mitt's not working. And there is another way to enjoy your marinara sauce without, that's now it's too hot again. You go all the way around the sides. Check it out. All right. So now I've got my spaghetti here. I'm trying to get it. All right, let's put this on the side. I have my spaghetti squash. I'm going to, voila. I've got my meatballs here that I just took out of the oven. So these ones were ones I just baked in the oven. Let me take 3 for myself. My daughter wants some for her lunch too. And I've got my marinara sauce here. I'm just going to add some marinara sauce to this. I've got it in my bowl here. So I'm just going to pour some, let me put the spaghetti, my meatballs, and then I'm just going to add some marinara. What you can do as well is you could take and put the lentil balls into the marinara, and they'll be a little more, they'll be a little softer and soggier. If you want, it's up to you how you do it. And there is my spaghetti squash and lentil balls here. Now, that's that. What I want to show you next is, last week we have a little salad. Like, this is my new best move. If you want to make a dressing, we're going to make a little salad here. And if you want to make a dressing, so I'm just going to use some spring mix. And I don't want to use any oil. So if I use oil, I use flaxseed oil. But today, I'm not going to use oil. I'm going to actually use coconut yogurt. So this is the coconut yogurt that I bought here. It's called Simpla. It is organic coconut, and the only ingredients in it are organic coconut cream, water, organic tapioca starch, which is a thickener, and bacterial cultures. So this is fermented, and this is where we get the good probiotics for our gut health. So we can get the probiotics for our gut health, and I've got about a half a cup here, and make a beautiful creamy dressing. And then it's also, you are not putting the oil in. So I've got a little bit of lemon juice here I'll add in. I'm going to add in one of my favorites, a little Dijon. If you don't have any Dijon, or you don't want to use Dijon, what you could do, I'm just adding a bit. Ready for my next jar of Dijon. You could put garlic in. as well, mince up some garlic. I have a little bit of maple syrup, and the recipe is with the last week's recipes, which I'll give you the link. So this helps to cut through the acid, the maple syrup. I used to think you could do it without, but it makes such a difference when you add that sweet to cut through your acid and stuff. So I've got a little bit of nutritional yeast. I'm going to do about a tablespoon here. Measure the tablespoon in my hand. And then that's it. I can whip it up and I have a creamy dressing here. So dressings, like you can make a lot of very easy, simple dressings just with ingredients you have at home. And then you know what's going in your dressing. You're not guessing about all the additives that go into and thickeners and preservatives that go into all of the pot dressings. And the ones that are like the pure dressings that you get in the organic section, you're gonna get a little tiny dressing for $10. So this is much more economical. But if you don't have the time, be watching for what the ingredients are in the dressings that you're buying. So I'm just adding a little bit of spring mix. That's easy. The romaine, you could do romaine lettuce as well, but it wasn't very good today, so I didn't want to buy it. I'm just gonna, because some of these leaves are big, they're not a biteful, so I just use my knife here just to cut it up a little bit. And then you could add other veggies to it if you want. I'm gonna add some of my dressing here. I can toss it up. You're gonna add some onion to it. You could add tomato, whatever you want to this now. Carrots, anything you want. But this is a great way to get your leafy greens in every day. Have a salad for lunch. And then I'm just gonna add some red onion that I have cut up here. We'll add that in. So we use red onion instead of croutons in our Caesar salad. So that's why I'm using that. This is my mock Caesar salad here with a creamy dressing. We get all my stuff mixed here. Can add some of this to my plate. And I have a very delicious filling meal for a queen. Yum. Always so many things left over. All right, so here is my afternoon lunch for today. Who wants to join me? All right. Let me see you guys. All right. Eat Good Friday. Yeah, Gloria, it is. I love that. Okay. I don't know if John's still here or if he left. A good blender is our Vitamix. That's the one I recommend, but I think you can get other high-speed blenders, but that's the one I recommend. All right. Any questions? Or should I just dig in? I'm just gonna dig in.
If I can't find the miso paste, can I leave it out?
Yep, you can leave it out.
Okay.
For sure. You'll notice I didn't put any salt in any of this because I do as much salt-free as I can. But if you're not putting the miso paste and you really want, you could add some salt as well.
So miso paste is salty, is it?
Yes, it has a salty flavor to it from the fermentation. So there's my spaghetti squash.
So for your creamy dressing, you just had coconut yogurt.
Yeah.
Some lemon juice.
Yeah, there's my Oh, I just inhaled the wrong way. Sorry, ladies.
Oh, take your time.
Sorry, that was not good. I'll take a little sip of tea. Yeah, I have the dressing. I have the recipes. I'm going to put the links in the chat.
Thank you.
And then the recipe for the dressing is there.
Thank
So
you.
let me do that. So I got to go to another window here. So there's within the recipe where the marinara sauce is, I have a link back to the other recipe.
Yeah.
That has the dressing, and it also has the marinara sauce in it.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. And the recipes I'm doing, the marinara sauce, this is all about the cooking the healthiest way you can. So we do a long and low cook as well on the marinara sauce, which is great.
How long have you been plant-based?
Me, coming up to 12 years now.
Wow, you must be in perfect health then.
I wish I wasn't always eating the healthy foods. So the big thing is getting off of the processed foods. And there's a lot of plant-based processed foods out there. So I have really cut back on how much processed foods that I eat. Yeah. I'm going to actually be doing a course I'm launching in July about detoxing from those processed foods and getting you going to be able to do that. So I'm going to be excited to launch that for you guys coming up in July. So I'm going to be taking a break from the summits for the summer and concentrating on some other things like the course.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I am trying to go plant-based, but I find it like hard, but I'm struggling to do it. With me, I'm trying to do it for my cholesterol and my high blood pressure, but I hardly eat any of those things. I'm very careful about my salt, but my cholesterol just will not go down.
Yeah.
I don't know what really to do. My doctor says, Sharon, you're doing everything you possibly can. It's probably genetic.
Okay. It's not. That's a big, more or less a myth. 90% of our chronic conditions and chronic diseases are not genetic. Only about 10% or less. 10% is being very aggressive, if you will. It's less than 10% are actually related to our genetics. Most of it is our epigenetics, which really is about our lifestyle. There is ways that you can, with a plant-based lifestyle. Really, it's about choosing whole foods and a variety of whole foods. That's probably the best advice that I can give you.
Thank you. Thank you.
For sure. But when I make my things in the kitchen on my Fridays in the kitchen, I always are looking for things that are whole food, plant-based. Now, this isn't a whole food, and I'm not 100% whole food, but I try to stay away from anything with a lot of additives on it. And this one has very little additives. And I've made my own coconut yogurt before, but I didn't really care for it as much. This one I like better. It's creamier, but I do have another one that I'm going to try with bananas and coconut cream. I'm actually looking forward to trying that. But for the most part, stay with the whole foods. So we have lots of tips and tricks, and I would stay tuned because in July, we're going to do this detox from processed foods, and we're going to talk about how you can really about getting back to the basics of plant-based and making it easy for you.
I believe in it. I do believe in it.
That's beautiful.
I do. I believe in it. I'm struggling. Sometimes I feel like a person who falls off the wagon. I'm really good for days. And then all of a sudden, if I let myself get hungry, then I'll say, oh, I'm just going to have a ham sandwich.
Yeah, this is one of the tricks, right? It happens to me too. You're not alone. I'm sure if you asked everybody who's here today, everybody would say the same thing. Because when it's the same thing with me, if I don't have a plan, then when I think, oh, it's time to eat. Oh, I've been working. It's 6 o'clock. I better eat. And it's, oh, I don't have time. I don't want to, and I'm hungry. So you choose something that's there. Yeah, and that happens. But the other thing that I'm actually doing some research on right now is a lot of times when you're plant-based, if you're getting hungry, most people will say that it's because you're not getting enough protein.
Right.
What it is, your nutrient, you're not getting enough of the micronutrients, the vitamins, the minerals, the antioxidants, and all of that stuff. That's why you're hungry. And so a really great way to do that is to really boost the food that you're eating and eat more. Like when you're doing plant-based, I really recommend you eat till you're satisfied. Don't let yourself be hungry. This looks like a big plate of food, and it is. But if I need more, I'm going to go get more. Probably not. This is a big plate. But don't be afraid to just eat until you're satisfied as well.
Yes. And would you say that all of that, what's on your plate, I would say it's lots of good fiber.
Yes, there's a lot of fiber. Eating plant-based, you get lots of fiber. So
Yeah.
there's fiber in the lentils, there's fiber in the flaxseed.
Yeah.
This all vegetables have and fruits have fiber in them.
Okay.
Our animal products do not have fiber. You only get fiber from plant-based products. So yes, lots of fiber in this. And also it's good, lentils are a good protein as well. But I do also caution that that's another myth about the protein is plant-based eaters do get enough protein. Only about 3% of plant-based eaters in the Western culture are protein deficient. So that's not the case. As a matter of fact, most people are getting more protein than they need.
Yeah.
So, that's not something to worry about. It's really about the micronutrients. A great way to really boost your micronutrients is to do some juicing or do smoothies.
Yeah. What I liked about your creamy dressing, because I love creamy dressings,
Yeah.
but what I was doing to make a creamy dressing, I was using like half Greek yogurt and then so much mayonnaise, a little bit of mayonnaise, and I'm trying to get away completely from mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Now I was wondering, could I use the coconut yogurt to make my creamy dressing like you, and then put some different things in it, like the lemon juice and
whatever you want in there. It's great. And I honestly, what I gotta say that I was like down on this coconut yogurt until not just recently. It just adds some smoothness to things that really just boosts the appeal of it from that perspective. Yeah, it's great for sure. Try that, but make sure you buy something that's the ingredients. Like this one only has the only thing other than the coconut cream is the tapioca starch, which is really about for the thickening, and it's okay. Everything else, everything is good ingredients in it, but some of them will have a lot of like extra sugar and other things. So stay away from those. Really look for good ingredients. You got to read your labels for the foods you're eating that are processed. But yeah, this is like my new best friend, I gotta say.
Are you familiar with CHA whipping cream?
Oh yeah, you can use that. Oh yeah, use that. I have 2 cans in my pantry.
Yeah, I can't find it in the grocery store, but I'm still looking.
So where are you located?
In Newfoundland.
In Newfoundland. All right. So I found it in Superstore.
Yeah, okay. I'll look and see. We have
Health food stores will carry it.
Oh yeah, so
Health food stores.
yeah. And I think it's only available in Canada. That's why I was asking, but yes. Sure. I did Superstore in their whatever their natural section that they have. They had it there.
Located?
I'm in Oakville.
Oakville, Ontario?
Yep, Oakville, Ontario.
I love Oakville.
Me too.
Yeah.
I have never been to Newfoundland. That's on my list. I think I've been to every province except Newfoundland. I
haven't been to Newfoundland either.
Yeah, I want to go. I definitely want to go. I've heard it.
You gotta come, because now don't come for the weather, okay?
No, it's okay.
We get a bad rap about the weather because we're right out in the Atlantic Ocean. Like The weather is not crazy, but we don't get what you call hot summers. We get maybe 2 or 3 weeks of real hot weather, but wait 10 minutes and the weather can change in Newfoundland.
That sounds like Calgary. I've lived in Calgary before. I grew up in Edmonton and
Okay.
lived twice in Calgary, and that's what it felt like in Calgary is like I remember taking my kids to their soccer game and I ran in the door at like 5:45, changed and ran out the door with the kids to get them to soccer. And I like felt the weather. Gee, it feels a little cool in the air all of a sudden. So I went and got a sweater and we went to the soccer game and it was canceled because of rain.
Oh,
All in 15 minutes.
then
It's true what they say.
yeah, you'd be able to tolerate Newfoundland. The scenery is nice here. And I believe the people are really nice and kind and friendly for the most part, like everywhere. But
Yep.
I think you'd really like it.
I'm gonna come. I have to come and see. That is on my bucket list to go to Newfoundland. I know one of my colleagues went a couple of years ago. I may have been before COVID actually, and they had just a beautiful time.
Yeah.
Not about the rest of not about the weather. So Diana is saying, how much saturated fat does the coconut have? Let me look. This one for this is half a cup. It says 13 grams of saturated fat. 0 trans fat. That's this one here. There's also, what was I going to say? If you miss the recipes, where do we find them each Friday? What you can do is you can send me an email if you can't come and I'll send you the link to the recipes. I'm looking at moving my platform and I'm going to try and figure out how I can have all the recipes in one place so you can just get them. They're also on my Facebook page as well. We have a Facebook page, Too Tired to Cook. And I also have Plant Thriving Women Facebook pages. So you can go there. And I don't know if Rinthia is still on the thing. Yeah, Rinthia is here. I think it's on our Too Tired to Cook Facebook page. You can get all the recipes as well. Yeah. And we're putting them in there's a section in the Facebook called the guides. I think we've been putting all the videos there. And a couple weeks ago, I did a video on, can't remember what I was making. Oh, a burger, a zucchini burger. And guess what? My internet went off. And when I came back on, I forgot to turn on the video again. So I never got the video. All right. So I'm just going to my Facebook page so we can.
It's not there.
It's
Not everything's there.
Here, I'm just going to go to the.
I didn't see it on Facebook.
Which one?
Any of them.
Okay, let me see. I hope I'm not a liar. I'm just putting my link to
I don't even know. Where do you find them on Facebook?
Here, let me go check. So if you'd like to join the Facebook group, and I'm just going to share my screen with this. Let me do this.
And
let me go here. Let me share my screen and
are you doing anything next Friday?
Why? It's next Friday's. I think.
I'm just curious. Are you doing anything next Friday?
I'm not doing anything, I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know if I'll be
here.
I don't know if I'll be here, be able to go. Come on. And I was late today because.
All right. So here's my Too Tired to Cook Facebook page. And
I missed it.
Under the guides, we have the recipes. I think we have. You can get the recipes here. There's the veggie patties are here. Where else? Do we have other ones, or is that the only one we've got so far? But that's where they're okay. We'll add some more in there, but that's where we've got some of them as well. If you do Facebook.
So YouTube also, I think. Yeah,
I have some in
YouTube.
I do have some on my YouTube channel as well. Yeah, thank you. Aline, thank you for reminding me.
You too. Oh, Diana doesn't have
Okay, so
Facebook.
YouTube, where's my YouTube? I can see if I can find my YouTube channel here. And there's stuff. There's also some other stuff in there as well. View my channel. Here it is. I'll put the link in the chat for you if you want to go to YouTube. Where's my chat? I lost the chat. Ah, here it is. So there's my YouTube channel as well. So there's lots of stuff on, I think I have 300 videos or something on YouTube as well. So there's also some other stuff on nutrition and things that I've done in the past that you can take a look at some of those as well.
381 videos.
I can't believe I did that many videos, but yes.
381. I just looked.
381. Okay. So that's also another place where you can get the recipes. We try to get them posted as quickly as we can. And what else? Yeah, so those are the main two places that you can get them right now. The other thing, I wanted to do a little shout out next week on Wednesday and Thursday. I am doing, the name of my YouTube channel is Plant Thriving Women. And
I got to write that down. What's it called again? Plant
Thriving Women.
Plant Driving, D-R-I.
Thriving as in thrive, Thriving.
Oh,
thriving.
I put it in the chat for you if you also can look at it in the chat.
Yeah, Plant Thriving Women.
Women, yep. And so next week on Wednesday and Thursday from 11 till 1 Eastern time, which is 8 till 10 Pacific time, I will be doing a summit interviewing some panel of women. It's called Rooted in Real Health. And I'm also have some emails that I'll be sending out about that. You can watch for the emails. And I will also, I'm going to put the link if you want to register. I have some amazing interviews that I did, pre-recorded interviews that I've done with some people that I'll also be sending out if you register for the summit. So here is where you can go to register for the summit if you would like. It's free. And I'd love to see if you have a chance to attend. I'll also be sending some emails out about it coming up as well. And I think that's everything. It's so beautiful to chat with everybody today. I love this, and I love being community with everybody. That's the best way to get support and learn. And this is something that we really need to embrace a lot, is being in community. So I am going to have my lunch. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Debbie.
Bye.
Thank you, Debbie. Have a great weekend, everyone.
You as well.